Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do reading for Cancer energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row I refer to as high vibe Cancer energy. The bottom row, a more worldly, shadowy Cancer energy, which can just be we want to stay in our comfort zone and we're kind of afraid of moving forward in life differently. The high vibe energy is where we might want to do things in our life differently, have a little more hope or faith or belief and love in ourselves, heal from past pain and heartbreak, live our life differently, and in our more worldly nature, we can have fear about doing that. So some people might be in that situation. It's not a personal reading, so we're going to cover the gamut of what could be going on in Cancer energy. Some people are moving forward in life differently, and when they move forward in life differently, we all have different people in our life. Some of the people in our life are more aligned with our more hopeful, believing, loving nature, more just, more fair, more supportive, more encouraging. But we can also have some people in our life who want us to keep living life the way we've been living it. And sometimes those people could wish us peace because, hey, you go do you. I'm going to do me. But some other people can be upset because we're not living our life the way we used to live our life. And then we might kind of not be on the same page as some people. We don't want to do some of the things we used to be doing before. We don't view life the same way. The truth sets us free. We heal, we grow, we mature, we expand our perception of ourselves and the world around us. We look at life differently. And sometimes when we do that and we're going to move forward in life differently, other people don't like it. So, and then there are people in the world that aren't motivated and inspired by love. You can get hurt doing love. And so some people have decided in their Cancer energy to align with loving their more defensive to love nature. And then it can be kind of making their life about themselves not being hurt, aligning with their more worldly, immature nature, which is our pride and our ego and our fear and our insecurity and our lazy and petty, envious, jealous, competitive nature. And we can all get caught up in the world and thinking these things of the world are the answer to us being happy until we learn to love ourselves. So you're either kind of using your emotions more manipulatively or you've learned to love yourself. And high vibe energy, love is supposed to be just and fair, and we treat other people the way we like to be treated, and life's about learning lessons, and some people have some more lessons to learn about that than some other people who've already learned that. So listen to your intuition. If you harness high vibe Cancer energy, which anyone can, listen to your intuition about who seems to be on that same page as you and who in your life doesn't seem to be there yet. So the reason for the bottom rose reading is the marriage card. So it's kind of like in our free will again, we can have the free will choice what we align with. Because the marriage card can kind of be like the Two of Cups. What do I align with? And then who am I going to align with? And for some of you, it could mean marriage. Maybe you'd like to be married. Someone else would like to be married. Maybe it was someone you were married to. But if you're not on the same page and you're both not, if one's motivated by love and one's motivated by themselves or their defensiveness or indulgence of some sort, it's difficult. So down here we have the main female, short illness, the child, and the garden. So let's see, this one doesn't tell a zodiac sign, neither does this one. This one, the fifth house, Libra. So what do we think is just and fair? The feminine figures, in the way I read tarot, the feminine figures can represent how we think and feel. And we could think, and some people do think it's just and fair to emotionally kind of indulge themselves. With the short illness and the child, we can indulge our more immature nature, and we think that's just and fair. And that's what people can align with. And if they kind of indulge themselves in their more worldly, shadowy energy, they could just be codependent, kind of looking for someone to love them because they haven't learned to love themselves. And they can get in relationships just to be in a relationship, but more out of codependent energy. Um, and we can all get in relationships with people. The short illness could just represent the way we view life at any given moment. And so we get in relationships with people because, in a way, that's how we view life. We're kind of more aligned with wanting these things of the world. We could view life, in a way, a lot of ways the same. But one person, though, sometimes in a relationship, one person is more, maybe more emotionally connected in with themselves. One person might not be as much emotionally connected in with themselves, because Cancer is water sign energy about loving yourself. And one person could be a more nurturing, loving person. Another person might be more codependent, looking for someone to love them. And to a degree, we can all be in that energy. We're looking, that's the child can be our more immature nature, where we haven't learned to love ourselves and we're looking for other people to love us. And we think that'll be the answer to our problems. And if, while during the process of a relationship, one person learns how to do that work within themselves, I kind of worked through the short illness can represent my past pain, heartbreak, fears, insecurities, where I felt rejected, unloved. And I've learned to do that work within myself, and I got balance within myself. Libra is represented by the scales of justice. In high vibe, it's like I learned to offer myself love to work through my past pain and heartbreak, my fears, my insecurities, my self-limiting beliefs, to be more balanced. And then the garden card can represent learning to kind of nurture and grow yourself so you're abundant within yourself. And then when you're more abundant within yourself, you're more ready to move forward in life and believe that I can take, because I feel maybe more balanced and stable and abundant within myself, I can go through that door to either from there to here or here to there. I've kind of worked through my fears and insecurities that I'm ready to kind of move forward in life, go to the next phase of life. And I believe because I have that balance and have learned to love and believe in myself, I am able to not keep repeating an old pattern. And I believe I can take that out into the world, that I don't have to stay in this, what can feel like a more limited environment or a stagnant environment. And the people in our life that do that work with us, those are people we align with, that we move forward with. And, we would like the people that we are in a more romantic relationship to do that with us. But sometimes we can have, because if I'm viewing this card more like the Two of Cups, we have all these different people in our life. And like I say, some people are like, no, 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 that's not my truth. I turn my back on doing that. I like this relationship dynamic, or I like living my life like this. I like staying in my comfort zone. I don't want to step out of my comfort zone because it could require me to get more balance within myself, or maybe it would require me to be more just and fair. It would require me to quit aligning with my more codependent, worldly nature, and I'd have to walk through that door to align with my more hopeful, believing, loving nature. And that requires us kind of in our truth, because Libra energy is air sign energy of the mind, and I view it as also represented by the King of Swords. Maybe it would require me to speak my truth. And again, shadowy energy can be all these things that kind of limit us, oppress us, confine us, manipulate us, restrict us, and imprison us. High vibe energy is seeing through the illusion, seeing through what manipulates us, so that we can move forward more independently. And, it requires us to work through those things that keep us tipped out of balance to get balanced. And we have to kind of stand up and fight for those things. And there can be some people in the world not willing to stand up to their own shadow nature, because they're being in their shadow nature of fear, insecurity, or defensiveness makes them feel safe, because then they don't have to do life differently. So they keep kind of indulging, but it's kind of like being aligned with their shadowy emotional nature. You should stay here. You can't go out there. You could get hurt out there. And then we kind of believe the lie. Because also, shadowy energy at the big picture is kind of represented by the devil, which are all those things that get us caught up in our fear and our insecurity and our codependent energy. And we get caught up in the illusion. We kind of listen to the lie. I can't go out there. I can't be more authentically myself in the world. What if someone hurts me? What if someone rejects me? Well, have we learned to love and believe in ourselves that we live in a world of duality. There's going to be people out there that, based on the lessons they've learned, can be very hurtful, very unkind, bossy, controlling, immature. Have we learned to love and believe in ourselves that we don't take it personally to let it get in our ego? I mean, yes, it hurts, but can we just see the truth of it? I'm not going to get caught up in the illusion. If I go out in the world and I see people that are hurtful, unkind, bossy, controlling, immature, I can just see the truth of it. They have some lessons to learn about working together with others in a just and fair and loving way. And I get out of my ego about it. I give myself the things I wish other people would give me. But not everybody is a very loving, giving, nurturing, supportive, encouraging, balanced person. Some people can be very egotistical, very self-centered, all about themselves, abusive, narcissistic. Are we going to see the truth? Because the truth sets us free. I see the truth. Some people aren't very just and fair. Not everyone is going to love me. Not everyone is going to like me. Not everyone is going to want to be my friend or date me. And just like we don't want to be everybody's friend, date everybody, it's kind of that, you just kind of got to go with the flow. Who seems to be more on the same page as me? Who doesn't? When people show me that they want to turn their back on being more just and fair and working cooperatively with me, though I could, like them, they could be my friends or family members. They could be a romantic interest. If they turn their back on being more just and fair, I need to see the truth of that. They have issues within themselves they need to work through. I can be a loving, giving, supportive, just, fair person, but other people aren't aligned with that within themselves to be that type of person. And again, we've all got to learn these lessons to work through our fears and our insecurities and our past pain and heartbreak that can make us turn our back on people who are like that in our life. And some people aren't ready to be in a more just and fair and balanced relationship, and some of them don't ever plan to be because maybe they don't want to be more just and fair. Maybe they don't want to be in more authentic and loving relationships, because high vibe energy, again, is about being more independent of your fear, your immaturity, your defensive nature. Is like, oh, why would I want to do that? I like to indulge myself. And I think other people should indulge me. I don't want to be in that kind of relationship. Or high vibe energy is about being more independent. What? I have these other people in my life that I'm kind of codependent on. How about you stay in a relationship with me? We'll be in a relationship, but I also have divided loyalty, and I make my friend group or my original family group kind of manipulate and control me, and I don't want to become more independent of them to go live my more authentic life. But I want to be in a relationship with you, move forward with you, maybe marry you, have children with you. But, if these people say I should ignore you, well, then I'm going to ignore you, because these people are my primary foundation that I operate from. So they're not independent. Some of those people don't ever plan to stand up for themselves, get more balanced, and be more independent, because they're codependent on some other people in their life. And we need to see the truth of it. And just like some of you have seen the truth of it, and some people there could be something going on in a significant relationship that they're in, and they could feel like they need to nurture those people right now and pay attention to those people. And you could be ready to kind of move forward in life, and they're like, no, I got to pay attention to these people because they're hurt and I also love them. So how about you go on, but I need to stay here and help these people. Everybody can be in different places of their life. So if we're ready and our intuition is telling us that this is kind of stopping me, or the way I'm living my life, or giving into my fear or insecurity, or indulging people in poor behavior or something, if in that case, it's stopping me from kind of growing to my full potential, and I need to see the truth of what within me would make me want to stay. I could have people in my life, but there can be people in our life who I want you to always stay more focused on me. And then the short illness could kind of be like people, who are maybe trying to manipulate and control you, use the love that you have for them to manipulate you. And you might know some people that you would like to move forward with, but they have people in their life that kind of use the love that they have for them to try to manipulate and control them. And until they see the truth of it and kind of stand up for themselves. And, we all have to figure out, why would I can love someone, but if they don't want me to speak my truth, love myself, be more authentically myself, respect that I'm my own individual, and I can work with lots of people in the world, two independent people, and where we overlap, we work together on those common goals, but I'm still, my own individual. I have my own dreams and aspirations, my ways of viewing life, things that are aligned with my truth that might be different than your truth, you know. But we can still work together and respect each other as individuals. And some people don't realize that some people are using the love that they have for other people and people in their life, and they kind of get manipulated by those people. And we've all been there. Because we've had people in our life that we wanted to have move forward with us in friendships or romantic relationships, or work more cooperatively with us at work. And because we're a loving person, we can put in a lot of work and effort to try to keep moving those relationships forward. But eventually we kind of might see that one person is motivated and inspired to kind of take the relationship to the next level in a more just and fair and balanced way. And then they can kind of see that the other person really wants to keep moving forward the way they've been moving forward. Let's just do the relationship we've been doing it. Let's just keep moving forward like this. Let's not work through our fears or our insecurities or our codependent nature. Let's not work through what manipulates us. I think it's just and fair for us to keep moving forward like this. And if they're it's difficult. It's challenging. And for the people who are like, everybody has the free will to live their life the way they want. And if I have some people in my life that maybe what makes them feel stable and grounded and balanced within themselves is to keep moving forward the way they've been moving forward. But I could find it kind of maybe superficial, shallow. I feel like my fear's manipulating me. I think they're manipulated by things, that I don't really think this is just and fair, or I'm feeling limited or restricted or confined in a kind of a shadowy way that it might look all great by worldly standards, look like I have justice in the world. But if I'm having to indulge someone in their poor behavior, that's not just and fair. That's not love. And I have a dream of being in relationships with people who respect me as an individual like I respect them, and treat me with love and respect and inspire me to grow and heal and mature myself. But am I in relationships with other people who are doing that for me? That is what I think is a just and fair relationship. And I can love people and I can wish them peace. You go live your life the way you want. I can't make you look at life differently. I might have already lived my life that way, and I've already learned some of those lessons in life the hard way. And you might need to go learn those lessons the hard way too. And there's always going to be other people who would maybe be willing to, we get drawn and attracted to people to help us get clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't, what we think is just and fair. And if we realize they turn their back on being more just and fair and loving, and they justify that, if they indulge poor behavior in themselves, if they're immature, bossy, controlling, egotistical, manipulative, superficial, shallow, materialistic, they think you should just think it's just and fair to make your life about those things too. But it's like, but that's not my truth. That's not what drives and motivates me. I thought it was supposed to be about love. And your idea of what's definition of love and what you think is just and fair and how you want to live your life and what you could find emotionally fulfilling is different. And it could be more, again, if you're not being truthful and honest and authentic, you're kind of trying to manipulate people to get them to do what you want. And that's where some people use their intuition and their emotions and their sexuality and their resources to try to manipulate people to be in a more codependent relationship where you let them kind of use those things more manipulatively. It's like, I want to do truth and love. So I see that you want to keep repeating this pattern and you want to keep moving forward in this way. That's not my truth. And just like some of you could have distanced yourself from some friends or family members or a job, there could be other people that are doing that in their own life. And some of the people that you know that act like that, they could have some other people distancing themselves from them. But there's always going to be other people that are kind of on that same page as them still, and view life that way, or are enabling them in their poor behavior, just like we could have. And they're going to maybe keep moving forward with them. And if it's a romantic interest and they found someone who is kind of more on the same page as them and view life the same way, well, then that's a just and fair relationship. They have found someone who views life the way they do. It's just that some other people didn't and other people moved on. So, and then some people are kind of manipulative. You could look at the main female as, if it's a more shadowy type person, they do use their intuition in a more shadowy way. Oh, look, there's someone. I think they're going through something, might not be very balanced within themselves, have some healing to do, might be looking to get in a relationship to be the answer to their problems. I'll come and get in a relationship with them. And then maybe I can get them to move forward with me and continue to move forward in that more codependent energy. Look to me to be the answer to your problems. Don't get balanced within yourself. Don't love yourself. Don't work through your fears and your insecurities. You keep staying, because some people like an imbalanced relationship or a more codependent relationship. I want you to look to me to be the answer to your problems. Don't love and believe in yourself. Don't want a more just and fair balanced relationship. Let's do this. And let's keep moving forward like this, saying it's just and fair, but it's imbalanced. And one person could be more hopeful and believing and loving, and one person's kind of more immature. Let's keep doing that dynamic. You be loving, I'll be defensive, I'll be fearful, I'll be manipulative, I'll be whatever. Let's keep going like that. I think that's just and fair. And if they get in a relationship with another loving person, eventually those people will work through their own issues and some of those people will move on. And the people who are kind of on the same page as them will keep moving forward with them and aligning with them. So, what's going on for some people who've kind of distanced themselves from friends or family members or workplaces where they felt people were kind of using the love that they had for them or want for that job, and they felt those people were being unjust and unfair. The reason for the top rose reading is a surprise visitor, and it's also why the reading came out. So again, we can be in a relationship working with people to move a relationship forward, but then maybe they do something and we see something that was kind of hidden behind the scenes because this is like coming out from the woodwork. And of course, a home or a foundation, people can present themselves any way they want to in the world. But then the feminine figures can talk about how people really think and feel and what kind of drives and motivates them. And then something surprising could have happened where people realized, oh my gosh, you are more when you take action that I maybe wasn't seeing before, more out of fear, insecurity, pride, ego, manipulation, self-centeredness, immaturity, less greed, whatever. And it's like, oh, and you saw the truth of it, and it was kind of your intuition kind of popping out, whether you're male or female. Your intuition kind of maybe saw what was hidden behind the foundation. Because anybody can try to present themselves as harnessing high vibe Cancer energy. Oh no, I'm motivated and inspired by love. I love you. And yeah, I believe in love. Let's move forward in love. And then as time goes by, it kind of maybe either doesn't seem to be coming into reality, or they turn their back on being more just and fair. And, we can all want to kind of shadowy energies wanting to stay in denial of the truth because we want those things to work. But eventually it's like we can't keep hiding from our intuition. This isn't moving forward the way I thought it was going to move forward in a more just and fair and loving way. So then we have murky thoughts. It's confusing. We go get into these different relationships in our life and it's confusing. So the murky thoughts can kind of be like, oh, the Five of Wands, the Five of Swords, or the Seven of Swords, or the Seven of Cups. We're confused because we thought someone was who they presented themselves as being. And then as time went by, we had a hard time wanting to accept the truth that they're really not who they present themselves to be. And they might really have some issues emotionally kind of hidden behind the surface that they might not want to deal with. And they might not want to acknowledge it, but you saw it. And again, we can offer love and encouragement to people to try to help them work through the things that manipulate them. But if they're not willing to do that work within themselves, we can't make them. And sometimes that is how some people view relationships. No, I have these issues, but I don't want to get more balance within myself. I do look to getting in relationships with people who are loving and nurturing and supportive and maybe more emotionally mature than me. And then you are supposed to be the answer to my problems. But the things that they have hidden beneath the surface within them still affect them. So then you're maybe trying to move forward in a relationship and they still have this mental conflict, this inner conflict, these things that manipulate them, these fears or insecurities. And then they could think, oh, well, you must not be the right person because you were supposed to be the answer to my problems. Instead of doing drugs or booze, I get in relationships. And then you're supposed to be the answer to all my problems and make me feel more balanced and loved so I can move forward in life. But they have to deal with those issues within themselves. We can't work through those issues within them. They have to do that. And that's where some people don't want to see the truth. And you're in a relationship, they're trying to present themselves as harnessing high vibe Cancer energy, but they don't. And then they could think, well, I'm not going to move forward with you because you're not solving my problems. And that's how I view relationships. If I get in a relationship with someone and they're the right person, all my fears and all my insecurities and all my past pain and heartbreak and all these things that manipulate me will magically go away. And so then they could turn their back on loving people because, well, no, I still have these issues. You must be the wrong person. I need to go find someone else. So that's codependent energy, looking outside yourself for something or someone else to be the answer to your problems. The answer lies within ourselves. We have to learn to love ourselves and work through those issues to free ourselves. Offer ourselves love, compassion, and forgiveness. Align with our loving nature within ourselves, not to go find other loving people to love me while I'm in shadowy energy. No, I do that work within myself. And I have to make these decisions in life. I have these different people in the world that I can hang out with. Well, am I going to hang out with the people who are loving and encouraging and authentic and supportive? Or am I going to still hang out with people who want me to indulge them in their poor behavior? Or repeat an old pattern? I've already been there and done that. Oh, but we're not willing to move forward like that. Oh, okay, well then I'll keep staying stagnant with you. You know, it's about speaking our truth. I can have people in my family, people in my life, people at my workplace. I keep maintaining balance from a place of love, treating other people the way I like to be treated, but I'm not going to keep focusing my attention on people in my life who aren't moving forward with me in that way. I can get along with all sorts of people, wish them peace every day, work together with them when I see them or have to work with them at work. But are you who I'm going to invest, my more hopeful, believing, loving nature into? No, because you're not moving forward in these type of energies. Can I have love for you? Sure. Do I wish you peace every day? Sure. And I'm going to keep moving forward with the people and invest myself in the people who treat me in a more just and fair and authentic and loving way. And the other people might not be willing to do that because, again, it requires them to work through all these issues of why they're not speaking their truth and loving themselves and being more independent and work through the mental confusion of it. So then we have a card not showing itself. And sometime in the midst of these relationships, that's when we kind of realize that we harness this energy differently. Family room, yeah. That's kind of what goes on behind closed doors. Again, anybody can present themselves as like a just and fair and loving family person, and then you get in a relationship with them and you realize that behind closed doors, they're not aligning with their more hopeful, believing, loving nature. They still have some things to work through, and it might be things you've already worked through, and that behind the scenes, you do let love and intuition guide you. But the other people could kind of let their fear or their insecurity or their defensive nature, or living more from their mind than their heart, be what guides their decisions. And eventually you kind of see the truth of it. And the photograph is kind of realizing that we all could have been repeating past patterns, because we will kind of be drawn and attracted to people because we have lessons to learn from them, and they would be a person that would be a good person. Because in a lot of ways, again, they could present themselves as a loving, nurturing person. And you're like, oh my gosh, here's someone who's on the same page as me. The only thing is, they might not ever want to step out of their comfort zone, not maybe be more in a balanced relationship, be more just or fair, want to get in a more formal commitment. And in a lot of ways, they are like you, but you maybe already been in relationships with people who you kind of realize that they're a little more immature. What they think is just and fair is different than what you think is just and fair. And, we could indulge people because we want to stay in our comfort zone, and we kind of have fear of loving and believing in ourselves and believing in our dreams. But then it's kind of like, wow, I've been here before, I've done this before, and I really want my dreams to come into reality in people who are kind of more on the same page as me. And there's some people in my life who seem like they were on the same page, but they have their own issues from the past that maybe they haven't worked through, and I've already been there, done that. I've already experienced that, is kind of what the photograph could be. Look, I have a photograph. This is when I used to be in a relationship with other people who were more immature or more codependent or weren't just and fair. And I've already been there and I've done that. And can I have love for you? Yes, but I need it to move forward in a more just and fair manner. So then we have the sun reverse, which is kind of realizing that with some people in our life, the sun can talk about a new beginning that we can't have those new beginnings with. In order to move forward in a more high vibrational way, we have to get out of shadowy Leo energy, being more about our ego and wanting to maybe not want to deal with the truth and be enlightened to the truth. It's supposed to be about love. And it's about letting your more emotionally intuitive, loving nature out to play in the world. And we might know some people who aren't willing to do that, aren't willing to reveal the truth, aren't willing to love and believe in themselves, to work through those issues, to be more independent in the world, not willing to maybe get out of their ego. Libra energy, which I view as represented by the King of Swords, which anyone can harness, can be a person's more self-protective, defensive nature, where they are letting their ego run their life. I could get hurt if I let my more authentic, loving nature out to play, so I don't let it out to play. My inner child would wish I would move forward and align with letting it go out to play in the world, but I kind of align with my own bad mother energy. I tell myself I need to stay here in order to feel safe. I could get hurt out there. So let's go find someone who will kind of indulge me, not letting my more authentic, loving nature out to play in the world, who might be in that kind of energy too. And because we're on the same page, you know, that's what makes us feel safe and secure and stable and grounded. And as long as they let their more defensive, egoic nature run their life, there's going to be some people that they could have had a more authentic, loving relationship with, but they're not willing to shed light on those issues that manipulate them. So we have to see the truth that those aren't people that I can have my new beginning with. And then we have a card not showing itself, which is the routine. High vibe people aren't going to keep letting other people who aren't being authentic, who aren't being just and fair, people who are more maybe about themselves, indulging themselves, more prideful or egotistical, keep them stuck. And high vibe people get out of their ego by offering them self-love, giving themselves the things they wish other people would have given them, to get out of the more shadowy energy, to not repeat old patterns, operating more out of fear and insecurity and less greed, pride, ego. I've already been there and done that, and I know how that turns out. When I plant bad seeds, I get a bad harvest. And I'm not doing that anymore. And I am going to let my more loving, intuitive nature be what drives my life. And then in high vibe, like 5 of Swords and 5 of Wands, it is difficult because we all want what we want. But am I going to ignore my intuition and think, no, I know best, God. I'm going to go try to get someone else, again, I'm going to try to get someone who's not on the same page as me to try to get them on the same page as me. I'll just go find another person, try to get that person to look at life differently. No, I need to listen to my intuition. The only person I can change, because this being kind of like the 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, murky thoughts, is about change. And the only person I can change is me. I don't want to repeat those past patterns. I'm not going to take action more out of my ego. I'm going to move forward in life differently. And then the murky thoughts can also be like the 7 of Swords is, I have a dream and I am going to listen to my intuition to guide me. And while other people might go repeat an old pattern and a way of living life, that's their free will choice. I choose to do this work within myself, to free myself from being tempted, to align with my more prideful, shadowy, codependent nature, and I'm going to keep moving forward in my life. And that might surprise other people and some of the people that you were in relationship with, because those people know you love them. Well, you used to kind of indulge me before. You didn't used to have more hope and faith and belief in yourself and in your dreams, and you could have been tipped out of balance in your more loving nature, indulging people in poor behavior. And it's like, yeah, and I'm not doing that anymore. I have learned to stand up for myself and what I believe in, and that could have been a surprise to some people, and other people doing this in people's lives could be surprised that some of the loving high vibe people in their life are kind of coming out to speak their truth and to listen to their intuition. It is supposed to be just and fair. People are supposed to treat other people the way they like to be treated, and that's not happening here. And it is like giving birth, and that could be the whole reason why you were drawn and attracted to certain people, was to get you to stand up for what you believe in and quit indulging poor behavior in yourself and others. And then it is like, kind of like the nesting dolls over there, you're giving birth to an emotional aspect of yourself that hadn't been given birth to before. And now that new you, shedding an old you, is giving birth to the new you. So you've changed. You're not the same person you were before. But because some of the other people are still being manipulated and maybe not listening to their intuition yet, or they're okay living their life like that still, they're kind of repeating that old pattern. But you're going to give birth to something new because you're not the same person you were before. And there could be people in your life that, you know, at work, at home, friends, family members, they have to then do this work within themselves. Am I kind of willing to let some things kind of be in the past and let some of those ways going? Do I want to stay in more codependent energy? Am I willing to get out of maybe operating from my more defensive, immature, egoic nature to put an end to that pattern and move forward with these people in my life who are kind of being loving and encouraging for me to live my more authentic life and have some hope and faith and belief in myself? And, you know, you could be kind of surprised at the people who are willing to move forward with you in that way. And you might be kind of surprised at the people who aren't. So what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Cancer energy that they might not see coming? And there might be people from your past who, some people from your past and that you could know don't want to have a new beginning with you because they are more aligned with repeating this old pattern. And there could be other people in your life who are going to kind of get out of their ego or defensive nature or fears or insecurities to move forward with you in that way. The Ace of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. Why? Because of the truth. So the Ace of Pentacles can talk about, in high vibe, it means that you learned some lesson in life. You saw the truth. And you saw the truth that starts within you. And the Nine of Pentacles is about being more independent, loving yourself, investing in yourself, giving yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you so that you are more self-sufficient and independent, not being able to be more manipulated by more codependent and shadowy relationships, because you've learned to invest in yourself and know your worth and value and appreciate what you bring to the table. I put in work and effort from love to be just and fair in a relationship. I deserve to appreciate that. And if I've been in relationships with other people who just want to take advantage of that, but they don't want to be more independent and aligned with their more loving nature, well, then I know my worth and value. And I'm not going to stay in a relationship that really isn't investing in truth and love and being more independent from their shadow nature. Respecting other people as individuals. I am not supposed to try to manipulate and control you. I am not supposed to try to get you to indulge me in poor behavior. I'm supposed to appreciate and respect what other people bring to the table And if I view them as a just and fair and loving person, then I should do this work within myself to maintain my independence from my more immature, shadowy ways of being, and invest in people like that and appreciate and value myself. And why am I not in more just and fair and loving relationships? And if there's no one for me that's on the same page as me, I've got other things to invest in the world, other things that are part of my dream. You know, we can get so caught up in like, oh no, I need to be in a relationship. It's like, if there's not the people around that are on the same page as you, keep investing in other things, in your friends and your family and your job and your career, and healing and growing and maturing yourself and expanding yourself to your full potential, so that when the people who are on the same page as you are around, you are free to go invest in them. And right now, there might be some people that would be like, shit, I didn't do that, and I could have gotten in my relationship, or in a commitment, that I maybe, instead of doing this work within myself to appreciate and love myself, I could have gotten in a relationship more out of codependency. And then there's someone who I'd like to be in a relationship with, but you know, in shadowy energy, I could have created this illusion like, oh my goodness, look how wonderful my life is, and oh my gosh, and I really love this person. And but it could have been just because people were looking to get in a relationship to feel more stable and grounded. And yes, we being in relationships with people can make us feel more stable and grounded, but we can tap into the people in our life that are loving and encouraging, you know, kind of in our shadowy energy of our fire sign energy. We can get so caught up in these things of the world of maybe our sexuality and wanting to be in relationships to feel better, that we're kind of misusing our sexuality. And, you know, the truth is, we're not going to harvest a good crop doing that. You know, temper our more shadowy, lustful, greedy nature, channel that life force energy into other things in our life, so that when people who are the people we should be in a relationship, we're available to get in a relationship with them. And there could be some people, I think as you move forward, you're listening to your intuition about people to invest your time, energy, and effort into. And as you're moving forward, other people see you being in that energy, and there's other people that are going to want to invest in you. And I think you'll just listen to your intuition about the truth of who people are based on these lessons you've learned in life. Who's kind of trying to tempt me with things of the world in my more indulging people in poor behavior and indulging poor behavior of myself? And who are people who've been enlightened to the truth, who want to move forward with me, and they're on the same page as me, and they're being truthful and honest and authentic and not trying to tempt me in my more codependent nature. And the people who are on the same page as you are the people you'll move forward with. And the people who your intuition tells you are trying to get you to repeat a past pattern, you're like, no, I've been there and done that. And so the people who do want to repeat this old pattern, they're going to go try to find someone else who they think won't require them to maybe be more independent, who will let our kind of indulging poor behavior in themselves, and so are they, or they're willing to indulge them in their poor behavior. It's like, well, to each their own. I know I didn't want to keep indulging in my own poor behavior or your poor behavior, and I did the work to be more independent. And then when you free yourself and you're investing your time, energy, and effort into other people who authentically are more high vibe, that's when, you know, you're meeting other people who are on the same page as you, because you're not investing your time, energy, and effort into people who aren't on that page. Again, we can treat everybody with love and respect. We can enjoy a lot of people in our life. Am I going to date you? Am I going to marry you? No. You stay in the friend category. You're an acquaintance. You're a coworker or whatever, you know. What's coming up for some of the people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Cancer energy? And there's some people in your life that are seeing that you're not the same person you were before. And they're working through all this within themselves to work through, are they wanting to repeat old patterns in their life? And even people you meet, they've kind of got to go through this process within themselves. I think this person is more independent. I think they're just, fair, truthful, honest, loving. They are who they say they are. Am I willing to be that kind of person? And some people will be like, no, I'm not. What's coming up for the high vibe people that they don't see coming? This card not showing itself. Why? Because they're always going to have people in their life who, the Six of Swords is Aquarius energy. I have this dream I want to bring into reality. And they've had some people again in their life trying to offer them love and encouragement to help them work through some of these issues that manipulate them. And eventually other people see the truth. I can't make you look at life from a higher perspective. I can't make you put life in perspective. Because some people get all caught up in their head and they think, I don't have to deal with the truth of these issues. I can just create this illusion about the type of person I am. I've known other people. I've watched other people. I'll just kind of mimic who they are. And I'll act like them. It's kind of like not living their authentic life, right? I'm going to pick up all these bits of information of how I've seen other people act and how other people respond to them, what people do like, what people don't like. I'll just, it's like not incorporating that truth into authentically who they are. To actually authentically be that type of person, they just try to present themselves as being that type of person. It's all like a mental construct. Some of you could have been dealing with a narcissist. And other people see the truth. You're not being authentic. You're not really motivated and inspired by love. It's more the fear or the insecurity or the codependency or the ego or the lust or the greed. It's not love. And you're not being just and fair. And they're going to have some other high vibe people move away from them. Why? Because of this card that's not showing itself. Other people have, during the course of friendships and relationships, we either do the work in a supportive, encouraging environment to work through some of those things from our past, so we can let those things go, so that we can keep moving forward in these relationships. And we get out of our ego about some of that past pain and heartbreak, or our more immature, self-centered nature. That's what some people do in relationships. They heal. And that's what some of the people in their life during this relationship, they heal from some of those issues. They're ready to get out of their ego, to be more independent, wanting to be in more independent, respecting each other, being more just and fair, truthful, honest, and authentic. But these other people reject that. That's not their truth. Some people are always looking to get in a relationship to rest within, to make them feel better, to make them feel more balanced, to make them look like they've moved on, like they've changed, that they're not the same person they were before. All about trying to create this illusion. But they don't ever really deal with the truth of their situations, so they keep repeating these old patterns over and over, and then other people see the truth of it. You have some issues you need to deal with or see the truth of, but you keep choosing not wanting to see the truth of it. And so the same thing happens over again, and other people become independent of them. And some of these people could just be kind of immature in their thinking, logic, and reasoning, and how they view relationships. While other people used to indulge me, maybe my family indulged me. I've been in other relationships or marriages where people indulge me in my poor behavior. I don't understand why it's so hard to find someone else who's willing to indulge me like those people did. Well, it was one thing when you were a child. Those people were your parent. They were willing to indulge you more than other people who aren't your parent. You need to see the difference. Some people don't want to be parenting someone. They want to be with someone who's learned lessons in life and grown up and matured themselves. And for people who are more like, I'm really manipulated by these things of the world, well, if they get in a relationship with someone else who's manipulated by things of the world, that's their long-term goal too. I want status and ego and image. It's like, well, why aren't you kind of being like a parent to me and loving me? Well, because I'm kind of more motivated by these things of the world, just like you. And you let go of more loving people. I let go of more loving people. And we're in this relationship because the truth is we're kind of fearful or codependent or got some shadowy ways about us, or we're more materialistically driven. That is the truth. And they could move forward in those relationships because if the most important thing is how people view them and that they look like a shining star and they don't have to be more independent, they don't have to deal with the truth, they don't have to speak their truth or be more just and fair. They might be in a relationship with someone they don't want to really heal things with. A relationship that's not based on truth and love, because the truth is they're more driven to look like a shining star in the world and maintain a certain image about who they are. Certainly can't admit that I could have been a fallible human being who had some issues to deal with, and at one point in time I had some growing up and maturing to do, and I could have repeated some past patterns that weren't very just or fair or being authentic and loving because I had these lessons to learn. High vibe people were willing to get out of their ego and admit I had lessons to learn, and I'm not really the same person I was before. But some people are unwilling to get out of their ego to admit they had lessons to learn. So they keep moving forward, not being more authentically themselves, living their more authentic life, because they think this is a good idea. This will work. And I don't think they're going to get the justice they think they're going to get. Because I think there are rules to this game of life, just like there's gravity. I think there's rules to this game of life. If you are not being authentic and truthful, and you keep thinking, I don't have to listen to my intuition, I'm smart, I can live more from my mind than my heart, I can try to manipulate people, they might end up with all these things of the world, but it's not based on truth and love and justice and fairness. And eventually other people kind of see the truth of it. And they can keep, because you can be really smart, you can create a certain illusion, you can not reveal the truth, you can repeat some old patterns trying to manipulate people about the truth. But you can't, other people also have intuition. And they eventually listen to their intuition. And you can't stop people from listening to their intuition. And as other people are moving forward, being more stable, grounded, authentic, loving, more independent, not taking action more out of fear and insecurity or pride or ego or lust or greed or codependency, kind of people can see who is moving forward in that type of energy and who isn't. So, there you go, Cancer. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.